I'm going to show you 10 of the biggest mistakes new drone pilots make with the DJI Air 3S when they're starting out, including some tips that could literally save your drone. I've been flying drones for over 7 years and I've made a lot of mistakes in the process, from settings I didn't know that made me crash to pushing the limits too far and nearly losing my drone. So hopefully this video will save you from making those mistakes and destroying your drone in the process. Mistake number 1 is improperly hand launching your drone and crashing on takeoff. So to hand launch your drone, you just hold the drone in one hand and then you pull your sticks down into the center and then you just increase your throttle and the drone takes off. However, what can sometimes happen, this often happens to beginners, is you start your props and you give it, you think, enough throttle to take off, and then you let go of it and it drops down. And if you're not ready to catch it, it can go down and crash and break the gimbal or break any number of things. And I've just seen so many beginner crashes caused by this. So instead what you want to do is give it throttle until it's actually tugging at your hand a little bit, and then you release it. And then it flies up, it's in the air, doesn't crash, then you just bring it back down, hold down your throttle at minimum until it decides to come down, land in your hand, and there you go, you've hand launched and caught your drone. And the other way that you can easily crash when you are hand launching your drone or even just taking off from the ground is running into overhead obstacles. It's super easy to underestimate how far up the drone will go when it takes off. And if there's anything above it, like tree branches, it can run into that and crash. I've had this happen before. It was trying to take off on the edge of a boardwalk. The drone went up, ran into the trees, fell down, had to do a little recovery mission. So just always make sure that you give it enough throttle when you're hand launching, and whenever you're taking off, make sure to check what's above the drone. Mistake number 2 is not backing up the footage off of your drone or SD card. This is something that most beginners don't even think about, but it's super important because if you happen to lose your drone for some reason, if you haven't backed up the footage that's on the card, you'll have not only lost the drone, but all the footage that you've already shot. A friend of mine had their drone crash in a river. No way to recover it. DJI actually replaced the drone, but they lost months of footage because it was all still on the SD card and hadn't been backed up to their computer. I've also lost footage this way multiple times. I lost a bunch of footage on an FPV drone that accidentally dove into a waterfall. I've had SD cards corrupt because they got wet and lose the footage on them, all sorts of crazy stuff. So you'll always want to download the footage off of the SD card in your Air 3S to your computer after a day of flying. That way, if you lose the drone, you'll still have all of your photos and videos up to that point. And many times, if I'm flying a lot in super important locations, like on the trip I just came back from in Iceland, I'll actually back the footage up after pretty much every single drone flight, or just swap out SD cards so that I'll be sure to not lose any of my great shots if the drone crashes. Now, if you'd like to learn how to get the most cinematic shots with your Air 3S, you can check out my completely free 45-minute drone filmmaking training, where I share my top 10 secrets to getting cinematic shots, covering the best settings to use, how to compose your shots to get smooth movements, how to edit your videos and color grade them, and a whole bunch more. And link to that is down in the description. Again, it's completely free. Now back to the drone mistakes. Mistake number 3 is trusting obstacle avoidance too much. Obstacle avoidance is amazing when it works. It will save you a lot of the time, but it's not foolproof. I've crashed lots and lots of drones with obstacle avoidance turned on, and a lot of beginners don't even realize this is possible. They think that if you have obstacle avoidance turned on, you're perfectly safe. Now, obstacle avoidance works best with really big things, like, for example, the side of a building or a car or trees with a bunch of leaves on them, but it really struggles with small things like bare tree branches, wires, all that kind of stuff. So even with obstacle avoidance on, you still need to pay attention to what's around your drone. And I especially don't trust obstacle avoidance in winter because there's no leaves on the trees, and so it's much harder for your drone to see that there's something there, versus in summer when all the trees are leafed out and your drone is a lot more likely to see those trees before it runs into them. Which brings me to mistake number 4, which is flying backwards or sideways. When you're flying backwards or flying sideways, you can't see what's behind the drone or to the side of it, and it's very easy to crash into it. Now, this might seem obvious, but so many crashes happen because of this. I've seen so many beginner drone pilots just fly their drone backwards or to the side without even thinking about what might be behind the drone. Now, obstacle avoidance can help with this, but as I already mentioned, it's not perfect and sometimes it can miss things. So it's always good to turn your drone around and look behind you or to the side before backing up or flying sideways. It also helps if you have direct visual sight of the drone and can confirm that there's nothing to run into. Something else that is super helpful is using the vision assist feature, which will let you look out of all of the obstacle avoidance cameras, so you can keep the main filming camera pointed forward but still be able to see to the side or backwards. And to access this, you'll just go down into the bottom left corner of the DJI Fly app and swipe left or right until you get to vision assist. Next up, mistake number 5 is losing orientation of the drone, not being able to figure out which way it's pointing. When you're flying a ways away, it can be really easy to lose your bearings with your Air 3S and not know which way the drone is pointed. Now, if this happens, there's a couple ways that we can solve it. First of all, you can just pull up the map, go down to the bottom left corner of the screen and swipe back and forth until it pulls up the map, and it has a little arrow showing which way the drone is pointed, as well as a line back to the home point, and so you can just turn the drone in the direction of that line and fly it that way to come home. Another helpful feature is the AR home point. You can turn this on in the settings, and when it's turned on, it will put a little yellow pointer where your home point is, where you took off from, or where you've updated to your location, and you can just spin the drone around, look for that AR home point, and then fly toward it. And of course, this is a DJI drone. You can also just hit the return to home button and have it return to home. But if for some reason something's gone wrong and none of these other things work and you have line of sight to your drone, there's a handy little trick that can save you. Just fly the drone forward and look at the drone. If it moves right or left, just turn in the direction that it's going. So if you're flying right, turn the drone to the right. If it's flying left, turn the drone to the left, and then keep turning until it's no longer going right or left, and it'll be flying straight towards you. And if it's not going either right or left, that means it's either facing directly away from you or directly towards you. So you can just turn to the right. If it goes to the right, you'll know it was facing away. You can just keep turning until it's coming back toward you. And if it goes left when you turn to the right, you'll know that it was already coming toward you, and then you can just turn back the other way to get it back on course. Which brings up reversed controls. When you are flying the drone towards you, left and right are reversed. So if you push the stick to the right, the drone will go to the left, and vice versa. And this causes so many crashes because drone pilots get confused which way the drone will go when they push the stick. This actually caused one of my very first drone crashes with the Phantom 3. So this is something you'll definitely want to keep in mind when you're flying the drone toward you. What you'll want to do is go take your drone out in an open space where there's nothing to run into, fly it left and right, and get some experience with that. Notice how it behaves, and eventually it will just get programmed into your brain so that you don't even have to think about it. And if you want the best settings to get the most cinematic shots with your Air 3S, I put all of those settings into a PDF checklist that I'm giving away completely for free. This is super handy, so you can just reference the settings while you're out flying, and link to download that is in the description. Again, completely free, no strings attached. Now on to our next drone mistake. And next up, mistake number 6 is crashing into power lines or cables. This causes so many crashes. I can't tell you how many beginner and even somewhat more advanced drone pilot crashes I've seen from running into wires. And the reason this is that thin wires are very hard to see in the video feed of your camera, and obstacle avoidance often can't see them either. I've nearly run into wires and power lines several times with my Cine drones, have run into them with my FPV drones. I have multiple friends who have destroyed their drones by running into power lines. So you'll want to take a look around the area just visually before you fly, confirm where any cables or power lines are, and keep a sharp eye out as you are flying for any cables that might pop up. And especially if you are a beginner, it might be a good idea to just not fly where there are a bunch of power lines and cables. And mistake number 7 is flying with too low of a battery percentage or flying with half discharged batteries. First up, you don't want to push things too far and just keep flying when your battery percentage gets low. Now, you can technically fly for a bit longer after it triggers auto return to home. Many times I actually will cancel it and fly for just a little bit longer to squeeze a little bit more juice out of the battery. But if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend that you don't try to do that. At some point when the battery gets low enough, the drone will just start to auto land, and you can only keep it up in the air by pushing up on the throttle. And at some point, it's just gonna run out of battery and land anyway into whatever is directly underneath it. And if your drone is further away, it can actually run out of battery before it gets back to you. I had this happen to me once. I was flying in Lake Bled. I was all the way out across the lake on the other side filming a castle, and I got the low battery return to home prompt, but I wanted to just get one more shot over there. Got the shot, started flying back, realized I didn't have enough battery to make it all the way back across the lake. It was probably like a mile or two away. And so to keep it from just falling in the lake, I had to land it in the grass halfway around the lake and then run over there and go and grab it. So I was able to fly the drone, but I very easily could have entirely lost the drone in the lake. So make sure to not push your battery life too far. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you fly the drone away from you with the wind and then have to fly it back into the wind, it'll take a lot more battery to come back, so make sure to pay attention to that if you're flying in the wind and flying downwind. The other thing to avoid is flying with half-discharged batteries. Now, sometimes it's fine to fly a half-discharged battery. For example, if you've just flown the drone, only used half the battery, gone to a second location, and now want to use the second half of the battery for a second flight. In general, flying with half-discharged batteries is a lot less of an issue with newer drones with large batteries, like for example, Air 3S, Air 3, those types of drones. But where you still do need to pay attention to it with your Air 3S is if your battery has auto discharged because it's been sitting for a few days, or if you've flown half the battery and then let it sit for a while. In these conditions, the battery voltage can drop and then the drone will limit power to the motors because the battery just can't put out enough juice. And this can make it so you don't have as much power as you would expect to be able to punch up and over things, which could cause you to crash. And in extreme cases, it can even make the drone do a forced landing if the voltage drops too low. I've had that happen. It's not good, and it could cause a crash. Next up, mistake number 8 is not realizing that obstacle avoidance is off or that you're in sport mode. This has caused me to crash, specifically the Air 3, Air 3S, multiple times.
Slowly, and make sure that your movements stay nice. What? I just crashed. Like, I had obstacle avoidance turned on. Hold on a second. Oh no, obstacle avoidance was turned off. Don't trust obstacle avoidance when you have it turned off.
If you haven't figured it out yet, in sport mode, there is absolutely no obstacle avoidance. And it's really easy to forget that you have flipped the drone into sport mode and think that obstacle avoidance is protecting you when it's actually not. And what can make it even easier to crash is if you turn obstacle avoidance off in the settings for normal or cine mode, and then again think that you're covered by obstacle avoidance when in fact it's totally disabled. So if you do turn it off in the settings, make sure to remember to go in and turn it back on. It's super easy to forget. I still sometimes have forgotten, so make sure to always check this. And moving on to mistake number 9, which is not knowing what your drone's stopping distance is. Drones can't stop on a dime. It takes a certain amount of distance and time for them to stop. And the faster you're flying, the longer and further it takes for them to come to a complete stop. And this distance is very easy to miscalculate, especially when you're flying the drone back toward you or flying towards something. And it's super easy to crash into yourself or things around you in those situations. I see this all the time with beginner drone pilots. They're flying the drone toward them, they don't realize how long it will take to stop, and then they have to duck out of the way so the drone doesn't hit them. To help you not end up crashing this way, it's a good idea to go out into an open field and fly the drone forward and see how long it takes to stop at different speeds. And next up, we have mistake number 10, which is not understanding how return to home works. Now, there's several important things to know here. First of all, return to home altitude. You can set return to home altitude to either preset or optimal. With preset, it's going to ascend to a certain altitude and then fly back home. With smart, it's going to try to find its own path around obstacles based on how you flew and the sensors and all that good stuff. Smart return to home does work pretty well when I've tested it. However, I still do trust fixed altitude return to home more. And when you have it set to fixed, you need to make sure that your return to home altitude is above above any obstacles in the area. Otherwise, your drone could potentially run into them while it's returning to home. I just usually set this to 400 feet, so it's above whatever obstacles are in the area, and that way I don't have to worry about it. Another thing that's really important to know is where your home point is set to. You'll want to make sure that your home point is set correctly before you take off, because if you take off without the home point set, it will then set it wherever it gets its first GPS lock. And if you've flown a ways away from you, maybe over some trees, over some water, the drone will then return to that point when return to home gets triggered, and it could potentially end up coming there and landing somewhere where you can't access it. I've definitely had this happen a time or two, and usually you can retake control of the drone, but just a few weeks ago in Iceland with this very Air 3S, I almost lost it because it got its home point set out over the canyon, and we were shooting in the rain, so the remote got so wet that it completely died, and the drone started trying to return to home to over the canyon. Thankfully, my friend Jackson was able to jump up and grab the drone before it flew away, but we could have easily lost it. So always make sure that your return to home point is set correctly. And you can update the home point. You'll just go into the settings under safety and then click on update home point, and you can either update it to the current position of the drone or to the current position of your remote. And the last important thing to know about return to home is your signal lost return to home settings. These are again in settings under safety all the way down under advanced safety settings. And this is basically what the drone will do when you lose connection with your remote. Now, by default, this is set to return to home, and most of the time that's what you want to happen. It flies out of range and it comes back to you. However, there's one situation where this can cause a problem, and that is if you're flying indoors or under some kind of overhead obstacles, the drone can go up and run into whatever is above it. I've had this happen. Drone got stuck in the tree, had to knock it down, it broke. Whole bunch of problems. So in those situations, you'll want to set it to hover instead of return to home, and then it will just hover in place until you reconnect. You'll just want to make sure that you set it back to return to home when you're done flying with obstacles overhead, because if you don't, you can fly out of range and then your drone is stuck there and won't automatically return to home. And I've got one more mistake for you. Bonus mistake number 11 is getting boring drone shots. This is something that a lot of beginner drone pilots do. They just kind of fly their drone around aimlessly and have no idea how to get good shots. So to fix that, you can click right here to watch another video where I teach you 10 cinematic drone moves that anyone can do, even if you're a beginner, that will give you professional looking footage. And make sure to watch my free 45-minute drone filmmaking training. And if you want to go even deeper, I have an entire 12-hour drone filmmaking course where I go into every single step of my workflow for creating professional cinematic drone videos. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.